Hey, welcome back to the skull. We're going to now move on to the sphenoid. The only one structure that I hadn't shown you on the temporal in the previous video was the carotid canal. So if we're back on the temporal, we're looking at the yellow bone, and there really is only one opening there. There's only one foramen, and so on that particular bone, you know that that is going to be the carotid canal. I can flip this also so that you can see in inferior view. In inferior view, it comes out very close to the spinous process. So that's the one foramen or canal that you're going to have to see there on the temporal bone. Okay, now we're going to go back and start the sphenoid. So the sphenoid here is the bone that's in gray, okay? All this gray is the sphenoid bone. So we're looking at the interior. And notice how they look like wings, right? It looks like a butterfly. And there is this sort of upper story, is kind of what I call it. And then you go down deeper into this cavity here. So there's the upper story and the lower story, essentially. And the lesser wings are these that would go here. I'll do the outline. Lesser wing. And then down below, greater wing goes all the way like this. Is going to be the greater wings of the sphenoid. In the very center there is this region here, which is called the sella turcica. And that translates to the Turkish saddle. So if you could imagine a person sitting in there, right, they would sit and dangle their legs down like this, and it's a saddle that has a back to it, kind of like a back support. So that's, I guess, what a Turkish saddle to ride a horse looks like. So that this region here is the sella turcica. It's interesting because that's what is going to hold the pituitary gland. It's sort of protected in there in the brain, inside that little sella turcica area. Okay, the next structures I want you to, if you have the list in front of you, I want you to number them. So you would have optic canal as 1, superior orbital fissures 2, 3, 4, 5 would be all the way to foramen spinosum. Because notice here how there are all these little foramens here that are going to be for nerves to go through, and they're sort of in a row. So if you can learn them in that row, it's going to help you. And so this order would start out with the optic canal. So I'm going to have to tilt this for you to see the optic canal, and that would be, I'm going to put my stick in there, this very first one at the top of the gray. And I'm going to show it to you in another view in a little bit. If it's an optic canal, guess where it comes out of? The socket of the eye. So in that view, I'll show it to you in a little bit. First of all, let me just show all the others in this view. So that's the optic canal. And then if I tilt it even more, you can see that there's that slit from the back of the eye, correct? Let me come to the other side. So that slit there from the back of the eye, that is a superior orbital fissure. It's a fissure because it's a slit. It's superior because it's at the top of the orbit of the eye. So superior orbital fissure. The next one that you would see down, coming down, right, is this here. And in a row then on your outline, it would be Foramen Rotundum. Foramen Rotundum. And as we come down this line of foramina here, you would have one that looks very oval, foramen ovale, and then a little dot of one there, and that is foramen spinosum. Okay, so we started out up at the top with the optic canal on either side, the optic canal, and then we looked at the slit, and the slit was a superior orbital fissure, and then we kept going down into the foramen rotundum there, and then foramen ovale, and then foramen spinosum. I had a mnemonic for that, and I'm not sure it's going to help, but it starts, it goes like this. Old, soft, soft is, so for the first one, for optic, you use the O. For superior orbital fissure, you use SOF. Old, soft, foramen rotundum is an R. Rotting, oranges stink. So what? So optic canal is old, and a superior orbital fissure is soft, SOF, soft, old, soft. Rotundum is rotting. Ovale is oranges, and spinosum is stink. So the mnemonic is old, soft, rotting, oranges, stink. And that's the order of those 5 foramina that you find in the sphenoid. Okay, I want to show you in the other view then, if I show you within the eye, see if I can point this just right for you to see that the slit of the back of the eye, right, that's the superior orbital fissure. And then see if I can show you like this where my stick is coming out. That there is the optic canal. So you can see both of those from this view also. And then be sure to look at the McGraw-Hill, the Connect. There's lots of pictures of all these drawn for you. Okay, now another structure that's from the sphenoid that's not in this view, but we have to actually rotate the skull, are these structures here. Do you notice? So with this 1 blade, 2 blades, 3 blades, 4 blades that sort of stick out there. See? I'll rotate it for you. Those blades are called the pterygoid plates. The P is silent, so you don't say pterygoid, but it's pterygoid plates. One year a student said to me, "Oh, you mean the water slides?" So that stuck for me. These are the water slides. And the name of them is, these plates, if they are medial, this is a medial and a medial pterygoid plate, or a lateral pterygoid plates. Lateral, medial, medial, that are forming both sides of the water slides, right? It's still the gray bone, do you see? So those are the pterygoid plates. Sometimes we have foramina that are bordering more than one bone, which means they're not on exactly one bone, but they're on a border. So those I can show you in, let me rotate. So one of these is the jugular foramen right here, where my stick is in, and that forms the border between, do you notice, black and yellow bone? So that's a very irregular shape. It's called the jugular foramen. It's not oval, it's not round, it's kind of like goofy. And the foramen lacerum is the other one that I need to show you. And that one is here and here. Foramen lacerum. I want to show it to you in the other position too. Sorry, in this position. Because the foramen lacerum is the one that if you were sitting in the sella turcica, your legs would dangle down through these foramina. Lacerum. Okay, lacerum, and then jugular. Jugular, and lacerum. Okay, so that finishes the sphenoid, and I will stop this, and later on we'll move on to what's on the ethmoid and the occipital. Thanks for watching.